Hello and welcome to the Getting Started video. My name is Mr. Shanklin and I will be your Algebra 2 teacher for this year. I'm so happy to have you guys. Alright, now if you're watching the video, you should always notice that when you come into the course, you're always in what we call the announcement page. So the announcements, there's two different ways that you can view announcements. The first one is off a calendar. Each day I kind of have what you should be working on. Or you could just watch the video, and the video kind of explains what you should be doing also. Okay, now the Getting Started video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to go through all of these buttons and kind of explain where everything is located. All right, so the first button at the top is a Getting Started button. And this button, if you click on it, you'll see that there's a course introduction video, which you guys are watching now, so you obviously have clicked on it. And then the first week's assignments, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay. So once the first week is over, you really are never going to go back to this Getting Started button, but it's there for new students and students that are a little bit behind. Then the next button is probably one of the most important. It's called the Pace Chart. The Pace Chart basically tells you what is due each week. So in the Pace Chart, and if you take a look here, it's all 18 weeks. It's there. So in the Pace Chart, you'll see the first week is just all that Getting Started kind of stuff. Also has the MAPS data. That Thursday there's a MAPS testing, and Friday there's a MAPS testing. And then on the second week, you find that there's some red things in here, and you'll see that there's red things all the way down here. Well, the red means that it is due. That is what's going to be graded. So nothing else. And if you, like in this week number 2, it says attend the main lesson on Monday morning from 10 o'clock until 11. Please make sure you attend the session or watch the recorded session before attempting the lesson material. Now, you don't have to do that. It's highly recommended because the lessons are the ones that we put on from 10 o'clock to 11 kind of goes through everything that you'll be asked to know for the week, the lesson material. And then the second thing, it says go to the lesson folder, and all of the material will be there for section 2.1 and 2.2. But then the real important stuff is you need to complete the practice, and then you need to complete the assessments. Now, the practice is not graded, but you do have to score an 80% or better in order for the assessments to open up. If you don't, the assessments aren't going to open up, which is kind of a bummer because then you can't take them. All right? So let's go on to the next button down. The next button down is the Live eSession. This is the session, like on Monday mornings from 10 to 11. You click on here, and then you'll click on the Join the Room. And then you'll see all the kids in the class that are in the class that want to be at the session will be there. And then I'll go through everything that the lesson material for the week. Then if you cannot make it, there's a recorded session. So once I'm done with the live session, I put it in the recorded session. So anybody that cannot be there, you can just watch it at your own leisure. The announcements, well, that's the announcement page that you always go to when you come to class. So that one you really probably will never have to use. Course information, this is an important button. It has the grading policies, it has the targets for this year, it has grading video, so here's where you go if you need to know something about the grading policy and you don't know it. Okay, staff information, that's just a little bit about myself, so if you click on there, you'll see that's Mr. Shanklin, that is me, and then a little bit about myself, and if you want to watch a little video about myself, there it is right there. This is the most important button, really, when it has the lesson material in it. So if we click on that, you will see that all of the weeks are there. Everything that you need for the week is in here. So if I click on week number 2, you're going to see the first thing is an ACT review. Since an Algebra 2 is basically all 11th graders have to take the ACT test after, March or April, I think. Well, maybe it's February. All juniors have to take the ACT test in the state. So each week we have an ACT review. You need to get a 75% or better on this in order for the practice for the week to open up. So make sure you get 75% or better. And then the weekly material is down here. You'll see that there's videos, PowerPoints. Here's our textbook, interactive practice if you need it. All of this stuff, I think students should go through. Now, some students, I know that stuff, I'm just going to go to the practice. Well, that's your own choice. But when students are like, I don't know what I'm really doing. This is where you find, like if I click on the graphing quadratics, this is going to give you a video on graphing quadratics. So this is where you want to spend a lot of time learning the material. Okay? And then once you feel comfortable with the material, you're going to go to the weekly practice. So each week there is a practice before you see the assessment. So practice number 2, that goes to week number 2. Practice number 3 goes to week number 3. Practice 4 goes to week number 4. Get the hint here that each one of these practices is set up for each week. So let's just try this practice. So if we go into the practice, hit begin, here's questions basically off of the material that you should have just learned. So just multiple choice. If you get an 80% or better, then you can go on to the assessment. If you do not, you get 2 tries at this. If you don't get it correct on the second try, then you need to send me an email with your updated answers. Okay? All right. So then once you get an 80% or better on your practice, then you can go into the weekly assessment, click on there, and you'll see that the assessment for week number 2 should show up. So you just click on that, and there's always 2, well, sometimes there's a little bit more than 2, but most of the times it's just 2 assessments each week. One will be multiple choice, one will be free response. The free response one, you have to show your work. So you just click on it, and then here it says identify the axis of symmetry for the graph of each function. So not a lot you have to show for work there, but most of them you do have to show some work. And that's your assessment for the week. Okay. So then, after that, the next button down is chapter test. We do have, after each chapter, there's a test. So you just take that test. Final week would be your final exam. Now, if you have extra time and you want to study for ACT, there's some prep course material here. We do have a discussion board. Getting to know you, that's week number 1. You will need to know the getting to know you. That is what we call like a whiteboard where you put stuff on. So if I click on that, you can see I've inserted stuff about myself. And then you can just drag a picture of you in here and write something about yourself in there. All right. That basically covers it. If you have any questions, please never hesitate to email or call me. You guys have a great beginning of the year. Bye.